Hello guys, First Time Hunter here, and welcome back to Katawa Shoujo. The last time we were playing, we were with Hanako and Lily. We had lunch with them on one occasion, and then we came in to the art room for Misha, because she needed supplies for the festival thing. And then we ran into this girl, who I cannot remember the name of right now for whatever reason, but we'll find out in a second. So anyway, we're having a conversation with her, and she's kind of being antisocial, and she's also very nosy, and, yeah. So anyway, so, do you always eat alone and this late, or do you get the occasional visitor? Ah, her name's Ren. Visitors. Maybe you are my first occasional visitor, but I don't always eat alone either. Sometimes I eat with a certain person on the roof, if she's not horsing around. Horsing? She likes to do sports. Oh. And that's all I can think of to say. Both of us fall silent again as Ren forks the last bit of her meal to her mouth. I look down at my haul and double check it with Misha's list. It seems I have everything except the plywood. So I think I have all the things now. That's very nice for you. Don't feel obliged to stay. I was about to take a nap anyway. You need to do whatever you are going to do with that stuff anyway, right? Or perhaps you like to watch girls sleep. Or watch girls sleeping. Man, she's very, yeah. I'm not sure what to make of this, but Ren looks serious. Even if I did, I think I have to be going. I'll catch you later around, Tezuka. You can call me Ren. Also, she is kind of friendly. I don't think so. I feel that our relationship is at this point good enough to warrant this much. Your relationship, huh? I was already turning to make my exit, but she draws me back in. Fine, then I'm Sal. Then you are. Ren looks at me hard in the eyes. That intimidating feeling you get when someone stares at you isn't there. It's like she's actually not looking at me at all. She blinks a couple of times, and I can't figure out why a pause like this just popped between us out of nowhere. See you later, Sal. There's something like a tiny smile there in her face, maybe. I quietly back out of the room. As I shut the door in front of my face, I whisper to myself, what an intriguing person. From inside, I hear a muffled, sing-song voice. I heard that... Nice work, Sal. What did she hear? Well, yeah. Misha, you're like right up in my face, girl. I jump at the sudden appearance of Misha, who I had not heard approaching despite the completely empty hallway. Somehow she had got into jumping distance of me without making a sound. Creepy. It briefly reminds me of Kenji's nutty theory about a global feminist conspiracy, but I pushed that thought aside. Don't start thinking like Kenji. Hey, Shizune! Shizune, standing slightly behind Misha, looks aloof as she couldn't have heard the remark that drew Misha's attention, but Misha is visibly excited. No, wait, more importantly, who is in there? There's no club meeting today. Oh, there's no club meetings today. She tries to curiously peek past me, even though the door prevents her from seeing anyway. What are you doing here? You took so long that we had to come check what's wrong. That's no good, Hichan. She wags her finger at me scoldingly. I found plywood, but everything else is still missing because you were tardy. Oh, sorry. I got the things here. Was just going to bring them. I think you were up to some mischief, Hichan. Who's in there with you? I wonder. Misha signs something quickly to Shizune, pointing at her own ear a couple of times. Shizune immediately pushes her way past me and opens the door into the classroom I just left. I can only imagine the shock she was experiencing. With Shizune's diligence and attitude, the insolence of daring to deface school property by sleeping on top of it must be too much to bear. Indeed, she stares at Ren, frozen in place apart from the slight but noticeable trembling of her shoulders from suppressed rage, I'm sure. Instead of blowing up, she usually just takes a few deep breaths, adjusts her glasses, and slams the door shut, turning to sign furiously at Misha. Maybe she did blow up and I can't understand it. She shoots a very loaded glare at me too, as if it was somehow my fault that Ren is sleeping on one of the tables. I hope she's not getting any funny ideas about the reason I was something. Shit. Okay. Hello? Ren's voice comes from the other side of the door, and it takes a few eye winks to realize she might have trouble opening it. I open the door to find Ren directly behind it, looking at us with a half-interested, half-sleepy face. Hello. Miss Tezuka, what do you think you were doing? You're absolutely not permitted to use school property for such, disgraceful activity. Sure, it's suddenly very crowded in here. I didn't know I was this popular. It's hard to say whether she's happy or unhappy about this turn of events. At any rate, she ignores Shizune and Misha's scolding, as they have no choice but to drop the issue. Shizune taps Misha's shoulder, points at Ren, and makes some quick signs. Popularity aside, please don't do that anymore. Anyway, how's your project going? Will it be done for the festival? Ren looks at them blankly, apparently at ease under the pressure Shizune's cold stare is putting on her. I keep wondering about that myself too. And? We'll think about it later. Or, we'll think about it harder. As Misha signs her reply to Shizune, her face turns into an unsatisfied frown. Miss Suzuka, please try to take this seriously. It will be a disaster if the wall looks like someone threw up their lunch onto it. Ren nods assertively. We'll think more seriously. Misha actually giggles at that too, but Shizune doesn't. Not even after translation. She just shakes her head, takes the materials from me, and takes off with Misha in tow. Ren frowns thoughtfully as she looks after the retreating student council duo. How rude. It's true though, I must finish my project before the weekend. There'll be dire consequences if I don't. The end of the world as we know it. Like weekends usually are, but more dire. Much more dire. Maybe I'll postpone my nap to unforeseen future. I'm about to ask what project she has and what are these what these apocalyptic consequences, but she walks back into the art classroom. Since you have nothing to do, would you give me a hand? What? The paint can doesn't fit into my bag, but I need it. She kicks lightly at a huge can of paint that's lying on the floor next to the table she was sitting and sleeping on. It lets out a dull clang. Being the gentleman I am, I naturally pick it up. Heavy. Yeah, sure. Where do you need me to take it? Bye-bye. And with that, she takes off to the hallway, me and the paint can following since there's little choice for either of us. The hallway is quiet and empty now with Shizune and Misha gone. So we two leave towards the stairwell at the other end. Every 10 or 15 or 20 steps, I have to change the can from one hand to another because the twin handle cuts into my palm. At least it keeps my arms from tiring too fast. Ren strolls on beside me with an uneven pace that I have trouble matching, or maybe I am walking weird because of the extra weight. It seems one of us is constantly walking too slow or too fast, and I can't figure out which. 2 flights of stairs below, trouble appears in the form of the head nurse and his fox-like grin. Ah, Mr. Nakai, what a happy coincidence. Tezuka too, of course. Oh, this guy's kind of weird. He nods curiously to Ren, who does not acknowledge him back, then turns to me because obviously it's me who he has a business with. There's something I forgot to mention on Monday. I nod and wait impassively because I can't even begin to guess what he forgot. The feeling of the handle delving deeper into my skin doesn't make me feel enthusiastic about this interruption either. It's about your medications. Since you haven't been that long on your current medications, there might be some unexpected side effects, which might require adjusting dosages or even changing to another kind of medication. So we will do a few tests regularly, but what I want is for you to keep an eye on everything in your condition that feels off, if you get what I mean. Nausea, headache, anything, and come see me if something happens. Alright. So how are you? Everything fine? I give up and drop the can to the floor before answering him. Apparently this takes longer than my biceps can handle. Oh, of all people to interrupt us, why'd I have to be him? I'm about to say something generic as an answer, but then I realized how often I've done that lately. Other people have asked me that too. Teachers and students here. My parents, visitors, nurse, doctors at the hospital. Everyone seems to be concerned about that. It's natural for a hospital, not so much for a school. Except this school. This is a small school, and both the student base and the faculty seems to be very tightly knit. At least that's the feeling I'm getting. And this is not the kind of school that gets transfer students too often. The thought sends shivers up my spine, but I give a generic answer anyway. That's great. Also, one other thing. My sources tell me that you've been at neither the school track nor even the pool, so I'd like to know if you have taken up exercising as I asked. Of course I haven't, but his way of inquiring gives me the feeling that I should have been running my ass off on the track since the very first day. Poor Sal. You have people spying on me? Not as much, not as such. I just happen to know a few people, but that's not the issue here, so don't try to slip out of it. Well, I was actually just doing some improvised weightlifting as an exercise. I'm sorry, I just found it funny. I pick up and I lift the can up and down a few times like some sad imitation of a bodybuilder, even though it's weighing down on my arms painfully. The stupid grin disappears from his face for a second, then comes back like it was never gone. Suzuko, would you give us a second? The nurse grabs me by the shoulder without waiting for Ren's permission, which he doesn't need in the first place, and drags me aside. When I told you to exercise, I wasn't joking. I understand that you were still in your first week and all, but please don't ignore the importance of this. The reason I'm coming down this hard on you is that habits are not easy to form. The more you slip and postpone, the harder it will be. It's the same with everything, like dieting. Can you promise me to be more serious about this from now on? Yes. Yeah, I promise, definitely. I don't want to exercise. He studies me for a moment, then shrugs, smiling again. Okay, that's more like it. If you go to the school track tomorrow morning, you'll meet my spy, who probably has no qualms offering consolation to you if you want to jog a bit. Consolation? See you around. Huh? He leaves with a wave of his hand and no answer. I walk to Ren, who has been waiting, idly leaning against the hallway wall and staring at the pale lighting features on the ceiling. Should I have actually told him I was going to take it seriously? I feel like I just did something bad. Oh no. Even when I approach, she doesn't move her eyes off them. Are you getting medications for your heart thingy? Were you listening? It comes out more accusingly than I intended, accidentally lashing out on her. But even so, I don't really want to start talking about it. I just met her. I don't know her. It's not her business. The nurse seems to be happily ignorant about confidentiality, too, talking about that kind of thing in public. But it's not Ren's fault, is it? I look up at her, suddenly feeling about guilty, but Ren is just staring past my shoulder, quizzingly, her head tilted like a bird's. Sigh. I don't know why this is so hard for me. It feels like there is some inexplicable block that prevents me from being more upfront about this. Yeah, they're from my heart. Will they make you better? No, not really. They just make me a little less worse. Ren keeps looking at me for a little longer, and she neither says anything further nor displays any kind of emotion I could discern. I'm thankful that she doesn't. I think I'm still not quite used to all this. At the hospital, it was easy, but I still haven't sorted my feelings about having to live a normal life with this disability. We leave the main building, and Ren leads us towards the dorm. We stop at the small patch of greenery in front of the dorm building. The dorm is built on a highly elevated ground with a wall and a few trees that everyone has to circle around every time they come or go. It's probably the only inconvenient design in the school. The entire wall, made of the same kind of bricks as the building itself, has been covered with some sort of a painting. Most of it is still mere sketches, quick lines drawn with black and white against the gray flashing that covers almost the entire length of the wall, but some places look a bit more finished. There are human faces and legs and hands. I can't quite say what the painting as a whole might portray. Stacks of what seems to be paint cans are arranged in piles on the ground, beside the wall. See? The left one is hardly off the ground yet. It's because I can't get in the mood yesterday, so I gave up and went to meditate instead. Then it was suddenly morning. I have to work on it, but the guys from art class are helping with the negative spaces and base surfaces whenever, which is a problem. It's easier to paint big areas if there are a lot of people with hands. The reach is better, and it's faster, too. She goes on a tangent, waving a little with her arm, or whatever it is there actually is. Or whatever of it there actually is, to demonstrate even though I got the point already. The white cotton of her sleeve flops around, and it makes me think I could look sadder than it does. But it makes me feel out of place, like almost every tangible reminder of the student base's special properties has in the past few days. This girl doesn't notice my dreary feelings, of course, or the fact that she lost me a while ago already, and just keeps on blabbering. So that's when I'm trying to figure out if there is something I need to figure out, and then figure that out before it's too late and all hope is lost. What? Why would the hope be lost? Because paint has to be painted, and then it has to dry, and then it has to be painted over with another kind of paint. Holy cow. It takes time. She finally stops, apparently thinking she made some kind of statement that makes sense. I think it's best to start from the top. So this is your project. You did this. Yes. All of it? Yes. Nice, but I stumble with my words, suddenly feeling like I've walked straight into the minefield of philological incorrections. Uh-oh. It's okay, you can say it. I probably won't get mad. I blush really hard. I don't really know what could be the right thing to say, if any. It feels like I'm way more sensitive than Rin is, though. This is really awkward. Don't you want to ask? How do you paint without hands? See? I'm an easy person to talk to, right? With my feet. I almost guessed that already, but isn't that hard to do? You're good at guessing. Anyway, I don't think it is, but maybe I'm used to it by now. I can't get my mind around the fact that she could be an artist, but seeing how adept she was using her feet to eat, I figured painting might not be a problem either. Neither of us has anything more to add to the subject. The afternoon light works pretty well. I was afraid it would look too flat, but it's not like that after all. I think it's actually pretty interesting. I wanted to see what it looks like in dim light. Do you think it's flat? Well, paintings tend to be flat. Not like that flat, flat, like some people are. No substance, no meat, where there should be some. I know a few girls with... Okay, I get it, but I couldn't really tell. I'm not that good with art. I can't name many artists or athletic artistic terms. Oh my god, I can't read. So I don't really have anything to say. Ren shrugs her shoulders as that, saying, "Suit yourself," without saying it, and looks up at the sky as I'm trying to look for something new up there, or something up there. Wait. I don't think I get any actual work done, but if you give me a hand with the paints, I could do a little before it's too dark. I wanted to get a halogen lamp like the ones they have at the sports track, but there aren't any. Ren sure is quick to recruit my help, as was Shizune. It really makes me feel that the festival is such a big project that every pair of hands is needed. Why not? I'm not really sure if I can be of any help, though. It's just making some paints. You can do that, probably. Do you have motor control problems? Like, you know, there's people who have some. Cerebral palsy, maybe? Not that I know of. I get it. Heart thingy has nothing to do with that. She gives me a sly look for no reason. No, it doesn't. Let's do it then. So she sits on the empty wooden box and very naturally picks up a side brush between the toes on her bare right foot. That's pretty cool. I mean, I found it interesting how people like in the school adapt so easily. I guess not. I guess it probably wasn't easy at first, but you know what I mean. They're or you guys know what I mean. Like, you know, they like at first it wasn't easy, but now like they're so adapted, like it just comes natural to them. Like with Rin using her feet to do everything. I open a few of the cans and pour some of the contents into shallow bowls for mixing. The thick paint flow lazily into the can of the pool, like I did, of the bowl like syrup. Okay, I'm gonna save real quick, just because I haven't done it in a while. I guess it's okay just to save in that one. I was gonna make a new one, but maybe not now. I mix them, crafting funny, hypnotic-looking swirl patterns that melt quickly into each other to form a few monotone hue. Ren sets to work, every now and then asking me for a hand with something or the other. Finding different brushes is easy enough, but mixing the paints to be the exact tone this girl is apparently seeing in her head is a frustrating ordeal. She wants precision down to the last millimeter before she is satisfied, but her instructions are obscure at best. Add half to a splash of green. Add half a splash of green. I crouch down to pick up the can of bright green. The other green, this green. I carefully pour some of the other green paint into the mixing bowl. No, that's almost a whole splash. More white. Is green a good color to add? No idea. You're the artist here. A hint of smile appears in the corners of her mouth. Do you lack an opinion? No, it's just that I have no idea. It's okay, because I got an idea. Add more white. With this explanation, I pour a minuscule amount of white into the bowl and mix it. It looks slightly whiter. That's not good. It has to be like the color when you wake up and you know that you saw the meaning of life in your dream but can't remember it. Dang, Ren! That's some deep philosophical crap there. Maybe it's yellow. Despite the impossibility of mixing a color like the change of seasons or any other resources that's being imposed on me, I found myself enjoying it more than I thought I would. Seeing a painting being born on the plaster wall feels like magic. I spend the moments I have between mixing paints crouching down on the crouching down on the paving and just looking at her work. It felt slightly intrusive at first, like breaking some imaginary intimacy, but Rin doesn't seem to mind the least bit. Maybe it's just in my head. Her entire presence emits a completely different air as she potentially works the details, adding layers of paint on top of other layers of paint, already moving her foot across the wall to add new shapes. When I manage to produce a passable mixture of paint, the rare smile on her face is oddly rewarding. Apart from the few words when discussing paint mixtures, neither of us says a word for the longest time. And even those short discussions soon evolve into a shorthand, both of us developing and using weird Impromptu code words for various paints and hues. Alright. As if there was some need to conserve words and breath and sound. Nighttime. We stay there late into the evening until it becomes too dark to paint properly. Alright. The sound of an alarm pulls me out of a fitful slumber and into the unpleasant state of wakefulness. I linger under the blanket for a few minutes, gathering energy to rise up without making excuses as for why I really already haven't. Honestly, I wouldn't mind staying here for all day. School is surprisingly exhausting after a long pause, and the culture shock still has not faded, I think. Still, despite getting an impression that skipping class is easy here, I don't think they are going to let me get away that easily. And then the nurse is bound to keep breathing down my back with the talk of exercising as well. So eventually I do rise up, swallow the morning medications and put on my old soccer clothing. Thanks to my condition, I was exempted from taking part in gym class at Yamaku, so I don't get issued with the gym outfit. Didn't get issued. I'd order some to cover such a contingency? I don't know. But wearing my old soccer clothes is kind of nostalgic. Yay, nostalgia! I can't use them for that anymore, so maybe they can get a new life this way, a bit like me. After all, if I'm going to start taking care of myself, I can't afford to slack around. I'll start from the basics. Basic, which include keeping the rest of my body in shape, along with what little I can do to strengthen my heart. Maybe then I can go back to something approaching a normal life, or at least something where I'm less likely to fall over dead at any minute. I'm surprised to discover that I'm not the only one present at the track. Not just that, but it's the face I've seen before. The prosthetic leg... Oh, hey! I can't remember your name. The prosthetic leg girl who bowled over me in the hallway yesterday is running on the track lithely, like a half-mechanical gazelle. What was her name again? It was a short one, but I can't remember. She seems to be running... Yeah, I can't remember either his house, so don't feel bad. She seems to be running laps at a somewhat easy lope, her prosthetic legs crackling rhythm on the hard track surface. I wonder what reason she has for running this early in the morning. Maybe it's something skin to mine, and the nurse is oppressing the poor little jog just like he is oppressing me. I certainly wouldn't be here if it weren't for my health and his prompting me to do so. And even with things being like they are, it's only because I wanted to get it out of the way early. The fact that I would be less likely to encounter someone who would witness my pitiful attempts to get in shape was merely a happy accident. I leave, but it seems that my former assailant noticed me on her last lap. She waves at me cheerfully and jogs over. Good morning. Your name is Asal, right? She grinned, seemingly pleased that she'd remembered my name. You may not remember me. Amy, I knocked you over in the hallway yesterday, or the hall yesterday. How could I forget such a blunt introduction? Amy has the tendency to look vaguely apologetic for a moment before giggling. Yeah, sorry about that. Again. Well, so long as you don't make a habit of it, I suppose I'll be fine. Great! I'm not sure she realized I was joking. So the spy consultant the nurse was talking about, is that actually you? That's right! Oh. I was expecting someone from the nursing staff to be honest. What, are you saying I don't look like I could be a spy? No, that is more like a relief. I was afraid he would have someone to watch my every move. Unless you are here to do exactly that. No, I'm here for my own reasons. The nurse just asked me if I had seen a messy-haired transfer student who looks like he's kind of lost around the track. So why are you down here? Amy strikes a a dramatic pose. Training! For what? Track! Ah, I see. You're on the track team then. Amy nods enthusiastically. Yep, I'm one of the better runners too. I'm modest about it too. Hey, you should join up. It's good exercise, you know? I think that much as activity is probably out of the question for me. Nah, I'm not even sure that I really like running all that much. Plus, I'm just not into organized sports, you know? It's true, I never even really got that much into soccer. I mean, I run around with my friends and all, but that was really the only reason I ever played. It wasn't for the glory to be found on the field, that's for sure. Emmy seems to understand my meaning. I see. Not that into the whole organization thing. But now that you're here, I guess we're going to be going to run together, huh? What? Sure, I guess. Emmy seems pleased. Are you going to warm up? Real men don't warm up. Oh no, you always should warm up. Bad Hasao. She scolds me enthusiastically, but then smiles and leans closer. I hate warming up too. She laughs suddenly. Heck, I don't even have to stretch my legs. As if to confirm her statement, she bounces up and down a couple of times, giving a passing impression of standing on a pair of springs. Her leg blades seem to be quite elastic. Let's go! So we both took off around the track, and I can immediately see that she wasn't lying about being good at running. Amy moves fluidly, throwing herself into the run with a sort of wild abandon. I found myself concentrating more on running properly. Hands straight, spread, right? And something about hitting on the balls of your feet rather than the heels. I try to match my stride to Emmy's, but it's pretty difficult. Apparently, I'm not very good at it. Maybe Emmy could help me with that sometime. I'm really not filling up to more than a couple of laps today and slow to a walk pretty quickly. Emmy keeps running and doesn't seem to notice I'm stopped until she passes me a second time. She quickly skids to a halt, breathing steadily in contrast to my own somewhat gasping demeanor. Finished already? I hang my head ruefully. Yeah. I'm not in very good shape right now. Emmy nods and then grins at me again. She seems to do a lot of smiling. Well, the important thing is you started, right? Next time, you just have to try to hold out longer, and then longer, and longer, and eventually you'll be great. I'll keep that in mind. But I think right now I'm going to get ready for class. Shouldn't you? Emmy shrugs unconcernedly. Nah, I've got plenty of time. I noticed that she's not wearing a watch. Are you sure? Another careless shrug. Not really, but I've got to finish my routine. See you later, Sal. Yeah, see ya. I'm not sure whether this morning's experiment was a success or a failure, but I'll admit that I do feel slightly good about getting out there this morning. And like Amy said, I just need to keep at it in order to get better, right? Practice makes perfect, or something like that. It's nice at least to feel like I've taken some semblance of control over my own health. I'll have to try to keep this up. I head back to the dorms to wash and change into my uniform, trying to resist the urge to take a really long and hot shower. I'm tired from all the running, so I just want to rewind, but I don't want to break my slowly building routine of getting to school before the morning rush. After taking a long shower, anyway, I dry myself off and get out of the stall to put on my clothes. Out of nowhere, a shadow... Kenji! Out of nowhere, a shadow appears within the mist, looming and radiating malicious intent. It bursts through the fog. Kenji! Holy crap. Hey, Kenji, you're, yeah, okay. So, what are you doing here? What the hell are you scaring me? What's your problem? I shouldn't be asking you that. I've been looking for you all over the place, man. What do you mean all over the place? I want to ask if he's been looking for me like that. Stark naked, but hold my tongue back. I finally realize I'm still naked too and quickly hold up my shirt in front of me, but Kenji doesn't seem to notice a thing. His glasses are fogged up, but then why doesn't he wipe them off? Is his vision so bad it's like he's purposely seeing through fog? You know, your room, and yeah, that's it. Hey, I mean, I still have to get up, but whatever, it's not important. Can I borrow some money? What? He puts on an innocent face and looks away, trying very hard to look very casual. He doesn't look. He's as transparent as a window pane as glass. Talking naturally like this, wearing nothing, so it's awkward. Actually, somehow it's even more awkward to be naked in front of someone when they can't see me being naked. To say nothing of the fact that he's naked as well. I try to brush the feeling off with little success. Money? Sure. Awesome. Wait, why do you need it? Can you just give it to me because I had the good will not to run through your pockets while you're in the shower? I could have, but I exercised restraint. And in the end, isn't it the thought that counts? Come on, be a pal. This makes no sense. If it's the thought that counts, I should withhold payment, since his thoughts were so clearly impure that his intentions are probably even more sinister, since he can't tell me what they are. I say as much to him. I'm offended, man, but if that is your game, then fine. I guess I have no choice. I want to order a pizza, and I already have most of the cost of the pizza. I need your help for the rest. I get some of that pizza too, right? No. Are you serious? Yeah, I would give you some. But you have class. You don't have time to eat a pizza. What about you? I'm not going to class. I have to wait for the pizza to pay the guy and then eat it. It's not easy. You have to obtain the pizza stealthily. If you don't, everyone will see you and the pizza, and they will ask for a slice. It's a hard world up there. Everyone wants a piece. Then you're left pizzaless in an unforgiving world. Tap and fork. That's how I know. Kenji, you're so weird, but what you say actually makes sense right now. Every day I plan my vengeance so that when the people who wrong me order a pizza, I will be there and be ever vigilant. Kenji strokes a dramatic pose, completely without irony. But yeah, I only need like 400 yen. Please, you're my only hope. I can't go outside and buy my own pizza. It's too far. I try not to go out unless it's absolutely necessary. Let me tell you what happened the last time I went out without carefully planning it out in advance. Oh no. Please don't. I was outside and I can't remember what I was doing. Something, standing, maybe wondering how I got there. And then, out of nowhere, it happened. Like a flash of lightning, splitting the sky, like how I split a sandwich into 2 equal pieces to make it more manageable to hold and eat. A bird crapped on my head. It was the second most shocking moment of my life. What was the first? He ignores it and keeps going. I want to grab him and shake him. Is he just trying to keep momentum? I'll go with that, even if it's more likely he just doesn't hear me. It was like in the openings to some kind of anime show. You know how there's always a part where the main dude is fighting his rival, and they fly at each other and clash with swords, and like big dramatic colored aurors and zoom. It was like that, but with poo. Okay. So yeah, I need some money. Please don't leave me hanging, man. I only need like 1,000 yen. Oh, it was 400. Okay. What? I'll pay you back, I swear. You better. That's what it means to Mars stuff. I don't know when I'll be able to pay you back. You have 1 week. Kanji winches and makes a noise like a dying cow, a particularly disturbing fact given that his button is conducting freely. Baton, not button, oh my god. You're not supposed to be so tight-assed about money between brothers in arms, man. Men have it bad enough as it is. Did you know that male porn stars only make about half of what female porn stars make? Yeah, because probably I don't know, I think males are more willing to look at porn and... yeah. Okay. That doesn't mean anything unless you're a porn star. So maybe I am a porn star. On the side, struggling to make ends meet as I fight the feminist agenda. You can't even spot me your crumbs, you bastard. Nobody understands. Nobody. Would it feminists be against pornography in the first place? The feminist agenda stuff again? This stuff is important. I can see that you don't give a shit, but this is serious here. Feminists are a dangerous enemy. Make no mistake. Sorry, guys. You take them lightly and you'll wake up in the morning with a knife in your back. Bam! Out of nowhere. How do you wake up in the morning if someone stabbed you in your sleep? Women are terrible at stabbing things. I thought you just said that don't take them lightly. Well, I mean, don't take them lightly for the big things. Individually, they're not a threat. But if there was some kind of war, like a big war, with men on one side and the feminist forces on the other side, it would be pretty ugly. And that day will come, when the feminists come out of their control, top secret, worldwide feminist headquarters and say, "It's on now, motherfuckers! You're being ridiculous! There's no big worldwide feminist headquarters building. Where would they even hide that? I mean, it'd have to be massive. You couldn't hide that on Earth. Someone would notice a big fortress with women only in it." Who said it was on Earth? Oh my god. Hassel, you did it! You made him crack! I turn away from Kenji and start practicing frowning faces in a mirror so I can figure out what kind of frown will best express my emotions. He can't see me from the distance anyway. Which, unfortunately, means that he just keeps ranting on about any regard to sense or anything. Or sensibility, maybe that said sensibility. Yeah, there's a war going on. A war not many know about, but it's a great one that will one day blow over and encompass all of the known world. Then we will have to pick a sides. We will have to make a stand. In fact, it's happening right now. Imagine it, the bloody battlefield, a vicious conflict without end. I almost gave up. Then I thought this cause was silly. When I grew tired of the weakness of our fight. When I mistook all the time the power went out for a feminist raid and thought the end was near. But then I realized that if I gave up, it would be all over. And was like, whoa! And knew I had to get serious because I am the last sane man in an insane world. It's without duty. It's about duty. Must be a pretty crappy movement if it all hinges on one naked guy ranting in the bathroom to another naked guy. So can I have the money? He's blocking the way out. It's getting cold because I'm still naked. I wanted to go to class, so I agreed to spot him the money. Awesome, thanks, dude. We should go bowling later on. Bowling? How do you bowl, Kenji? Bowling? Yeah, it's the ultimate sport. There are almost no women bowlers either, making it also the manliest sport. Should I wear my pink bowling shirt with matching shoes or the pastel green with flower accents? What the fuck, man? There are bowling clothes. Maybe. Anyway, you had better pay me back. I can pay you back in stuff, right? I don't have the time to ask him to elaborate on what that means. I don't know, I have to get to class. You're kind of in my way. Oh, sorry, yeah, I didn't want to hold you up, and I had some stuff to do myself. The time's come. Time for what? I just like saying that. Okay, now the time has really come. For what? I have to use the bathroom. Get out of it. I was just going to. And what does that mean? It's a big bathroom. So, I have to be alone or I can't go. The pressure. Okay, what if someone else comes in? I'll think of something. I've given my practice round and looked kind of silly reflecting in his glasses. He either doesn't notice or doesn't see. Anyway, so I get dressed and run back to my room, feeling as though an eternity has passed since I woke up. Wow, that is time I will never get back. I'll get him for this somehow. Okay, guys, I'm gonna save my game here. That was awkward, but kind of funny. So, yeah. Anyway, you know, now we're running, and we have Emmy as our practice buddy, and that's kind of cool. Emmy, I kind of like Emmy. She's a cool character. And Kenji's just plain out weird, but he's decent, I guess. And it was nice to be, you know, work with Rain on the painting. That was kind of cool. It was like an intimate thing. Not like intimate, like, you know, sexual-wise, just, you know, like an intimate, like, special moment, I guess. And yeah, it was fun. So anyway, though, guys, I'm going to end up here. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and share my video. It helps me out as a small YouTuber. I really, really appreciate that. And I will see all you guys later. Peace.